Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is a Survivor's Guide to Life. My name is Jessica Lang, and this channel is all things trauma, the brain, and healing. So if that's your jam, go right ahead and click that subscribe button so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And while you're at it, jump all over to Instagram where you can follow me there and see more tips, tricks, inspirational quotes about self-esteem building, general topics around mental health. Right there over on Instagram. You can also DM me if there's some topics you want me to talk about that I haven't talked about just yet. And I'm also trying to get to that 10,000 subscriber count so I can get the swipe up feature. So if you want to help me out with that, that would be wonderful. Now on to today's topic. So for the past couple videos, I have been dissecting different misdiagnoses that people with trauma might often get rather than a trauma diagnosis. So if maybe you are somebody who hasn't experienced overt traumas such as like sexual abuse or physical abuse or neglect, but maybe you've had some emotional abuse or feeling like your parents didn't really like provide you with what you needed emotionally, or even you lived in like a war-torn environment or a dangerous neighborhood. These are things that raise the stress levels, and over time with persistent raising of the stress response system without any alleviation, that is where you get a lot of these trauma reactions. So maybe you in the past have gone to a doctor, a mental health professional, but you didn't really talk about these things, and so you didn't realize that there was maybe a connection between some of that early childhood stuff that could be construed as traumatic, especially if you look at it through a child's eyes, but maybe you're focusing more on the here and now, and so this diagnosis or these the trauma might have been missed out, or not diagnosed or not taken into account, and so you showed symptoms of other mental health disorders like bipolar or borderline or anxiety, which is what we're going to talk about today. So I'm helping you kind of tease out whether you are having some trauma reactions or it's actually another mental health diagnosis, or it can also be both of them put together. So for today's video, I'm talking about generalized anxiety. Now, anxiety, just like depression, just like bipolar disorder, is a broad category in the DSM, and within that category are very specific mental health diagnoses. So in the anxiety disorder related category, you're going to have generalized anxiety or specific phobia, social phobia, separation anxiety. Previous to the DSM-5 and DSM-4, we actually put PTSD and OCD in the anxiety disorder category, but now we've separated them, and trauma-related disorders have their own category, with PTSD being in that category, and actually obsessive-compulsive disorder actually has its own category as well. But again, this just goes to show you like how with emerging science, how even the DSM, we look at things, we change it up a little bit, but you can see how easy it is to some of these disorders overlap. But the key with, and why I'm breaking it down like this, is because whenever you have any type of trauma, you really, even if you have something on top of the trauma like a substance abuse or ADHD or something like that, you really want to tackle the trauma symptoms first, because those are typically the ones that are more distressing, and have a lot of root causes with attachment and relationships, and as well as like being able to modulate or control impulsive reactions, which are like the hallmark of some of these trauma symptoms. So with that long-winded second intro, I'm just going to read to you what generalized anxiety disorder is. Generalized anxiety disorder: A, excessive anxiety and worry, apprehensive expectation, occurring more days than not for at least 6 months about a number of events or activities such as work or school performance. B, the individual finds it difficult to control the worry. C, the anxiety and worry are associated with 3 or more of the following 6 symptoms, with at least some symptoms having been present for more days than not for the last 6 months. Note, only one item is required in children. Under category C, number 1, restlessness or feeling keyed up or on edge. You will also see this with ADHD, bipolar disorder, and some of the trauma and PTSD. So again, it's why we look at everything in a category, not just picking and choosing specific words or are highlighting specific words to kind of get a full picture and a full diagnosis of what's going on, or a full picture of what's going on. Number 2, being easily fatigued. Again, this could also look like depression. Number 3, difficulty concentrating or mind going blank. Very common with PTSD, also very common when you're looking at ADHD. Number 4, irritability. This is very common. Also, again, you're going to see this with PTSD. You're going to see this with bipolar disorder. You're also going to see irritability in depression, typically in teens and children. 5, muscle tension and sleep. And 6, sleep disturbance. Difficulty falling or staying asleep, or restless, unsatisfying sleep. Sleep disturbance, that's one of the, again, that's why we look at all of them. Sleep disturbance is in almost all mental health related disorders. Category D, the anxiety, worry, or physical symptoms cause clinically significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning. Category E, the disturbance is not attributable to the physiological effects of a substance, a drug of abuse, a medication, or another medical condition, hypothyroidism. F, the disturbance is not better explained by another mental disorder, example, anxiety or worry about having panic attacks in panic disorder, negative evaluation in social anxiety disorder or social phobia, contamination or other obsessions in obsessive compulsive disorder, separation from an attachment figure in separation anxiety disorder, reminders of a traumatic event in post-traumatic stress disorder, gained weight in anorexia nervosa, physical complaints in somatic symptom disorder, perceived appearance, flaws in the body, dysmorphic disorder, having a serious illness in illness anxiety disorder, or the context of a delusional beliefs in schizophrenia or delusional disorder. This is why I'm reading the DSM and I'm sharing this information with you, because whenever you read social media posts or you watch TV or whatever, and you hear people talk about, I'll use, like, for example, the Jake Paul, Shane Dawson series that I watched, and I, never really knew who Shane Dawson was. I became a fan of his after I watched the series, but a lot of people were very up in arms because he was talking about whether this individual was a sociopath, and the anti-social personality disorder was talked about, and people were like, I have this diagnosis, or they became worried that there was all this judgment that goes along with it. And this is not a critique on that show, so if you came here for that, that's not what this is about. But this is just to show you how complex all of these things are that are in the DSM, which is what we therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists use when somebody comes into our office and they're talking about how they're struggling with their mental health. We look at all of their symptoms. That's why we take that history, right? Because we need to know, how long have these symptoms been going on? How long have you been experiencing them? Is it something that's always been there? With a lot of this anxiety disorder, like anxiety, similarly to depression, right? Oftentimes there is something going on with the neurotransmitters, the hormones. So you're talking about your serotonin, your dopamine. There's something off about those, and so you can take a medication, take it for a while, or you might, take them as needed. Many anxiety disorder medications, you take them as needed, are what we call PRNs. So you don't have to take them every day, but if you start to have like a flare up, I think of it like, I have allergies really bad, and some days I need a Benadryl to get through the day because, there's too much pollen or what have you in the air. So I don't need to take a Benadryl every day, but on the days when my allergies are really bothering me and I can't function, I'll take a Benadryl. You could, medications for anxiety disorders typically go in that realm, but again, we have to ask about the symptoms. We take that detailed history because, as you can see, anxiety is such a big it's a big category, and I like to tell my clients that anxiety is the way we all experience anxiety to some levels. Our bodies are telling us something's going on, something's off, redirect your attention to this thing over here, right? But when you cannot control the worry, then you're going to be looking more at an anxiety related disorder problem. But if you have like some social anxiety, like another YouTuber that I really enjoy, Jessie Page, often talks about having social anxiety and what that's like for her, and it's anxiety within social situations. And so if that piece is missing, then the treatment's going to be completely different, right? If I'm going to treat somebody with generalized anxiety, we're going to talk about what's going on in the body. We're going to talk about kind of ways, like a grounding techniques you can use from day to day to kind of ground yourself, giving yourself permission to kind of think about a specific topic for a certain amount of time, and then, you know, pulling back and redirecting it over here, like giving very specific tools, as opposed to like a social anxiety or even like obsessive compulsive. You know, honestly, I've never treated anyone with obsessive compulsive disorder, but you know, you're going to use very specific like CBT techniques related to those obsessions. Like it's a medication to kind of because it's the compulsions, right, that are to decrease the obsessive thoughts or the obsessive behaviors, but it like becomes this ritual. So again, like you need to be able to look at, well, you know, is it something general? Is it a general worry that's bothering you for 6 months, that's affecting your sleep, or did something very specific happen? You know, if you've had a trauma in your past, right, or you've been raped or you've been assaulted, in your mind you keep thinking and rehashing over and over, if I would have done this, that, and the other, things would have been different. That's not anxiety. That is anxiety, but that's not going to give you an anxiety disorder or generalized anxiety disorder diagnosis. You're going to now look more into the PTSD realm of things, and then the treatment's going to be about learning different tools and techniques that help you cope and heal from the trauma specifically, and then the ruminations are going to start to decrease. I also just want to add, you know, as somebody who works specifically with trauma, I don't utilize CBT. I think CBT is very good for like generalized anxiety disorder, or even for social anxiety, or for OCD. Like it's very good for those mental health disorders. But if you're going to be looking more at trauma, which is going to be a hijacking of your neurobiological systems, then in my opinion, professionally, and other folks who work in the trauma world also I'm sure agree with me, we're going to look more at the connection between the brain and the body, the mind and the body, as we also like to say. So more somatic techniques, because with trauma, you're working with your whole body, with being connected in that and like learning how to be reconnected to your body and feel safe in your body and love your body. Whereas like a generalized anxiety disorder, you're not focusing so much on your body. You know, with like a panic attack, for example, you're gonna figure out, okay, different techniques to stop the racing heart and all that. But again, it's not the same thing. It's like one is more of a fear of your body, and the other, and that's where you're talking about like your panic attacks, and the other is like a disgust and a discomfort within your body. Now you're looking more at trauma. So that's all I have to say for generalized anxiety disorder and trauma. I hope this video helped you. Comment down below if you're somebody who's maybe been misdiagnosed, your trauma has been missed. Maybe share with the community what that was like for you. What kinds of tips and tricks do you have that help you, or what is something that you wish maybe that I would have talked about more in this video, and with concerns with regard to generalized anxiety disorder and trauma. So comment down below. I want to hear from you. Let's make this interactive. And that's all I have for you in this video. So I will see you in the next one.